Okay, so today I want to talk to you about suppressors. Recently, I've acquired a few suppressors. Uh, been in the guns for a while, and I just finally got into to the suppressor thing, and I love it. The wait times have really decreased, so now's the time to buy one if you're on the fence about it. So what I did, and what I'd probably recommend, is find a like if you want to buy from Silencer Central or Silencer Shop, both great companies. I bought some Silencer Shop because the shop next to me has one of their kiosks. So what you do is you go into the gun shop. They have a little kiosk. It looks kind of like an ATM. You fill out all the questions it asks you, and then it takes your fingerprints, and then you have an account created with Silencer Shop. And what that does is once your account's created, you can go on Silencer Shop's website anytime and buy your suppressor. So once you have your fingerprints and your account created, go on their website, just put the silencer you want in your cart along with the tax stamp. They have a tax stamp on there you put in your cart too, and you check out. That's all you gotta do. Once you check out, they'll email you. Once they'll assign you a serial number, they'll email you. You have to sign a couple things over email. Real easy, doesn't take no time. And then the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but once you get your silencer through Silencer Shop, Silencer Shop has to submit what's called a Form 3 to the ATF. So what this is, it is a form that gives Silencer Shop permission to ship that silencer to your FFL. So when I bought mine, after a week or two after I ordered it, it got finally shipped to my FFL. So the Form 3 got approved and went to my FFL. Once at my FFL dealer had to call me, and then I had to go down there and certify that. Once you get your account created, you will need to do an online eForms account too with the ATF. Doesn't take very long. My FFL dealer walked me through how to do it. So you just go to atfeforms.com, I think it is, or .net, whatever, and you create an eForms account. Well, when you create this eForms account, it will ask you to create a PIN. So once your FFL receives your silencer from Silencer Shop, they will call you. You have to go down there and certify it, and they will ask you for that PIN you created with your eForms account. Don't forget it. When he called me to certify mine, I thought the ATF emailed me a PIN. So no, it was a PIN I created. So once I realized that, I knew what it was, because I probably, like everybody else, I use the same PIN for everything. But so you certify it, and then at that moment, the Form 4 paperwork starts. And then wait times are anywhere from a day to a few months still. So I did the individual with all mine. You can do the individual or the trust. I honestly don't know a whole lot about the trust still. So I do know that the wait times are longer for the trust. So do with that information what you will. But for my suppressors, I ordered one. I think it was December last year. Got approved at the end of February. So it took me about 3 months. And then my second one took about 2 months, and my last one took 11 days. So they're really cranking them out now. So when your suppressor gets approved, so your Form 4 paperwork started, when it gets approved, the ATF will email you, and they will say status approved. And when they email you that, you can go pick it up. And all you have to do when you pick it up is you fill out the gun form paperwork like you do when you're buying a gun. Only difference is they don't run you right then and there. The ATF's already approved you, so it's more or less just for the FFL's records. So overall, Silencer Shop, not a bad place to buy. I've had a friend that went through Silencer Central. He was really happy with them too. So at the end of the day, just find a place that you like, buy from them, and you should be good to go. So I got my three bases covered the way I see it. So I'll start. I got a 22 can, a 9mm can, and then a 30 cal can. So I'll go over each a little bit and tell you a little bit about them, so that way you may make an informed decision if you're thinking about one. So first, start with the 22 can. This is a Dead Air Mask 22 can. So this is a direct thread. So what direct thread is your barrel will come with threads on the end of it, and then you will take this and thread it on there. So odds are it'll have a thread protector. You have to take it off your barrel and then thread this on there, and you're good to go. Only thing to watch out with that method of attachment is sometimes they can back off So really not so much on like your bolt action rifles and stuff, but like handguns that are kind of vibrating a lot and stuff, they might back off a little bit. So just every few rounds you kind of want to grab it, make sure it's snug on there. But 22 cans, they come apart most generally. So like this one, I can disassemble it, clean every baffle in it, put it back together, good to go. That's important for 22 cans because they get so dirty. Like my hands, I don't know if you can tell, but just handling this thing, my hands are dirty already. I need to clean this thing. I haven't cleaned it in a while. But they're easy to use, and honestly, they're probably the most fun. So if I was only going to get one can to start with, I'd probably get a 22 can, because this one was $627 with tax, everything, from a silencer shop. So it was the cheapest can I got so far, and they make even cheaper ones. I mean, I spent a little bit more money, got the Dead Air one. I mean, they make the Silencer Co. Sparrow, it's like $100 less, give or take, and some others that are cheaper. So don't feel like you got to spend $400 or $500 to get a good one. You don't. As far as sound goes, this gets Hollywood quiet with subsonic rounds. Whether you're shooting it on a handgun or a bolt gun, it's going to be Hollywood quiet on a 22 with subsonic ammunition. Supersonic, you're going to hear it for sure. Still a little loud. I wouldn't want to shoot it a ton without earmuffs, but it's definitely tolerable without earmuffs. Next can I want to talk about is my Rugged Obsidian 9. This is my 9mm can. So this will work on 9mm, 350 Legend out of a 16-inch barrel, I believe, and subsonic 300 Blackout. So, but one thing they don't tell you about all that is, yes, it'll work on all that stuff, but for 9mm handguns and subguns, the majority of them are 1/2x28 threading. So this is a 1/2x28 thread. You direct thread it on there, and it'll work on 9mm guns. But to stick it on a subsonic 300 Blackout, for instance, those are 1/2x28 by and large. Like my 300 Blackout, it's 1/2x28. So out of the box, I cannot stick this on my 300 Blackout. So one thing to know, if you're buying a 9mm can to run on multiple guns like that, you will have to buy a 1/2x28 or a 5/8x24 adapter if it's 1/2x28, and so on and so forth. Also, if you're buying this for a handgun, you will need a booster. So the Obsidian 9, and I think most pistol caliber suppressors, come with a booster assembly. So this is it. It's a little dirty. This is a booster assembly. So this cylinder looking thing is your thread adapter. It's a piston, I believe is what it's referred to as. So this threads on your gun, and then the spring works as a booster to boost the recoil to aid in cycling of your semi-automatic handgun. So I'll put this back in there. So what happens is if you want to run this on a fixed barrel gun, like an AR, or just anything with a fixed barrel, like pistol caliber carbine, what you need to do is you will have to replace this spring. If I can get it out here. You have to replace the spring with a fixed barrel adapter. It's like a shim, more or less. That's the length of this spring. So you have to replace that, and then also, like I said, if it's 5/8x24, you have to replace this piston as well. So just something to consider. Even if I was going to stick this on like a 22, it'll work on 22s as well. I mean, you can do it like it is, but they don't recommend it if it's on a fixed barrel, because the booster will still work as a booster does. So it's just you need to get a fixed barrel adapter if you're going to be doing that. So 9mm can might seem appealing for a do-it-all can, but like I said, for the reasons already mentioned, like just to stick this on a 300 Blackout, I need to spend like $160, because a new piston is like $80, and a little shim thing, like I told you about, is like another $80. So, and that's not counting shipping and tax. So I don't know, you get into a lot of money doing that, and also it's not very like I can't stick it on my 22 bolt gun and then just stick it right on my Glock. Like I'd have to replace all that crap on there, and if it's hot, I gotta wait for it to cool off. So it's just not ideal. And also, if you're shooting a lot of 22, like seeing with my 22 can, my hands got dirty just holding it. So I wouldn't want to dirty up my 9mm can that much because it'd be a pain in the butt to clean it all the time. So I think it's best to just have a 22 can for 22 stuff and then have other cans for other things. The 9mm can is good for handguns and PCCs. I just shoot it on my Glock, and it's great. I love it. It sounds like a staple gun. Shooting it, from the shooter's perspective, it's a little loud just because of the action cycling. So it's a little on the loud side. I'm definitely glad I got the rugged Obsidian 9 because I would not want it to be any louder just from a shooter's perspective. And also another thing to consider is try to shoot one if you can before, because most people don't reload. They buy their ammo. And last time I found a box of subsonic 9mm ammo, it was the Fiocchi 158 grain. My neighbor's getting home. And they wanted $28 for 50 rounds. And that was just outrageous, I thought. So I reloaded. I reloaded 147 grain Barry's bullets. And they're great. They sound great. And I bought some Federal 147 grain. It rang my ears when I shot it through this thing. I don't know what it was about it. It's subsonic velocity, but I don't know if they just stick a hefty powder charge in there or what, but I shot a few rounds through it and they was all way louder in my reloads. So just one thing to consider, subsonic ammo is expensive, so if you don't reload, you might consider it. Or if you can find a good affordable subsonic ammo, just go that route. Here's my 30 caliber can. So this is a Rugged Surge 7.62. They've since updated it to the Surge X, which I would highly recommend. A little pricey, but a very good can. So 30 caliber cans are nice because you can, for the most part, there might be a few exceptions, but you can run them on 30 caliber guns, like 300 Win Mag, all the way down to like a 223. Everything in between. As long as you're 30 caliber or less, short of 22, should be good. So they don't recommend you shoot these on 22s because they get dirty and you cannot take them apart to clean them. So when I bought this, I was under the impression I could take it apart and clean it so I could shoot it on my 22. Well, I was wrong. Turns out you cannot take it apart and service it. So they do not recommend you shoot it on 22 for that reason. So you can't take these apart because they're built to withstand those heavy Magnum calibers. So like the inside of this is all welded together. So that way if you shoot it on a Magnum caliber, it can handle it. It's not gonna blow apart. So that's good. And then another thing to consider on 30 cal cans anyway, or like rifle cans, is do you want a quick detach mount or do you want a direct thread? So this is a quick detach. So I got muzzle devices on all my rifles. Let me grab one. So this is my Ruger Gen 2 American. This has the rugged muzzle device on it. So this is a flash hider and it's a quick detach mount for the suppressor. So I will attach it real quick. I won't show you because it's against YouTube's policy. Okay, so now it's attached. It took me all of 5 seconds. So what you do is you thread it on there and then you twist down this little collet to secure it. So when you're done, and if you want to shoot it on a different gun, you just unscrew the collet, unscrew the suppressor, stick it on a different gun, you're good to go. So as long as it's not hot. If it's hot, then you gotta wait for it to cool. But if you're shooting it on subsonic 300 blackout, don't really get that hot. So it is nice for that. And then also another thing to consider with any can is like this one in my Obsidian 9, they're both modular. So this last portion, I can unscrew it and make it shorter. So it's very nice. Like on this can, leave it in a long configuration on my 300 blackout stuff when I want just ultra quiet. And then like on my AR, my 223 AR, or 5.56, I mean, I make it in short configuration because it can be loud anyway shooting supersonic ammo. But let's talk about subsonic versus supersonic. I will do a quick demonstration with my 22 bolt gun on the difference between subsonic and supersonic, both suppressed and unsuppressed. Okay, so first I want to shoot a round of supersonic and then around the subsonic unsuppressed to give you an idea what that sounds like out of my Ruger American 22 LR. So it's loud. Want to wear earmuffs if I was going to shoot it a whole lot. Shot or two ain't bad. Okay, so now do the subsonic. Really not a whole lot quieter, but still a little bit quieter. But I'll throw the can on it and let you hear what that sounds like. Okay, so now the suppressor is on there. I got around a supersonic 22 loaded in there. Gonna try it out, see how it sounds with the can on it. Oh yeah, I mean, you hear the crack. It's still not quiet, like as far as report goes, but definitely didn't hurt my ears none that time. I could stand shoot that with the can on there, but now we got a subsonic 22 in there. So hear what it sounds like. Oh man, that is Hollywood quiet right there. Okay, so just for perspective, it's empty now. I will just let the firing pin drop and let you hear what that sounds like. All right, so I hope that gives you a little bit better of an idea of the difference between subsonic and supersonic. So subsonic, the threshold for subsonic is about 1100-ish feet per second, give or take. So like I try to load around 1050 or 1000 when I'm reloading stuff for subsonic, like my 300 blackout or my 9mm stuff, because if it's above that range, then you will get that supersonic crack like you heard with the supersonic rounds on my 22. So subsonic unsuppressed is still loud because you're still hearing the bang, but you don't have that supersonic crack. So when you have the suppressor on there, it virtually eliminates the pow of the round, like the powder burn. And if you don't have that crack, then you have no other noise. So it's super quiet. I mean, everything I've shot the subsonic has been Hollywood quiet, in my opinion. My 300 blackout, my 9mm handguns, and my 22 bolt gun and handgun. One thing to consider about any of these is if you are looking for one or thinking about one, look at the subsonic ammo, because subsonic for anything is more expensive. Like my 22 even is a little bit more expensive than the regular 22 ammo, especially like 300 blackout or 9mm. You can really get in the weeds, spending a lot of money on subsonic ammo. But anyway, if you have any questions or anything, drop them in the comments. Please like and subscribe. If you want to see any other videos of these, any questions you might have, like I said, let me know. I can try to do another video. And like I said, I like to review all these individually, so that way you can have a better idea about each of them individually. Thanks for watching. So it's really, I gotta load up a few more of those. Okay, I got 3 more rounds of subsonic in there. I just want to shoot them. I want to shoot a water jug. Let's see if you can hear it smack it. It was empty, might I add, so might just hear plastic.